Hi, good morning. This is it's Sunday morning. I think it's the 8th of November. Good morning, Facebook family. That's what I'm calling you because everybody on my page is um either right-wing conservatives or they're good Christians. Um I am trying really hard not to listen to the TV, but I work in a senior group home and they watch the news, and so I'm hearing what's being said, but the worldly people are already declaring that they have a king. And I kept asking the Lord, what's going on? I mean, because, all the prophets were saying, Donald Trump's going to get it. And anyways, that's my wish. I mean, my wish is to have a godly king over this country. And I'm sure everybody that's listening to me pretty much feels the same way or thinks the same way. But I've been going over things that I heard the Lord tell me prior to this. And one of the things that he said when I woke up was he said, I've had enough. And another thing that I thought about was that a saying that I remember a well-known preacher named Lester Summerall. Preachers that really had an impact on me. I always remembered things that they said, and I still remember what they said. And something he said when he was preaching one time was that God will give a country a king that's worthy of that country. And what that means is that what the majority of the people are in that country, the king is going to be much like them. So, and then what was coming to me this morning, and I'm just sharing, I'm not saying thus saith the Lord, but prophetically, this could be on target. I was just thinking about how the first king, before God gave Israel their first king, which was Saul, King Saul, a prophet was their leader, Samuel, and he was like a very godly man. They said that none of his words ever fell to the ground. In other words, he never missed it once. Now, in this day and age, we can, prophets miss it, like maybe a small percentage, but this guy never missed it, never had a word that was inaccurate from the Lord. And so the people rose up and they said, we don't want you we want a king. We want to be like other countries that have their own king. We want a king. So Samuel went to the Lord and he's like, wow, what's going on? He was very disappointed that they didn't want him as a leader because he thought, this is just the way it should be. And the Lord said, they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me. And he said, I'm going to use my words, I'm going to give them what they deserve. I'm going to give them a king. And basically what the Lord was saying was that, the majority of the people, he gave them a king that was much like them. And it was much like how they thought. And we all know Saul was he wound up becoming full of demons. He was a very wicked leader. He was very selfish. He didn't obey God. And then as a result of it, after a while, God rejected him as king, and he brought in David, King David. And this all unfolded over years of time, and that's something that we forget, as prophetic people. Excuse me. That when God tells us something, or he gives us a word or shows us what's going to happen in the future, a lot of times things don't unfold until over years of time, and sometimes they come right away, but most of the time it's a progression. So I'm going to try to be brief because I don't want to wear you out with too many words, but I honestly think that God is going to give America, and it's not including the Christians. This is like excluding the believers. But I think God is going to give America what she deserves, and that's wicked rulership. And I don't even like to even say that. I don't even like to let those words come out of my mouth because I'm a faith preacher. I'm a faith person. I was raised in the faith camp. So I believe, that, God, I believe in what's right. But I can only remember one time other than this where God didn't answer me. And it was when a friend of mine that was a really good Christian, she committed suicide. And I kept going to the Lord, and the heavens were like brass. I did not get a straight answer from the Lord because I kept saying, did Peggy make it? Did Peggy make it? Did Peggy make it? And that was like the first time in my Christian walk that I didn't get an answer. There was like it was silence. I didn't hear anything back. And looking back now, that was my answer. That was my answer. The answer was no, she didn't make it because she murdered herself, And I know everybody's gonna have controversy on that issue about suicide and blah, 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 but that's just my personal experience. And I'm not going to get off on what I think about, suicide and murder and all that stuff. But that was the last time I remember God not answering me when I prayed about something. And I'm not saying I'm some great person that God always answers me, but when I asked him about the election, there was just silence. I just heard silence. And it was making me fret, and it was making me worry. And I kept listening. And so then I thought, well, I better listen to the prophets and the prophetic people, and so I can keep my attitude, I can keep in faith, because maybe this is a faith thing, God just wants us to stand in faith. But honestly, folks, I got nothing back. I've been hearing like the Lord was just silent when I asked him isn't Donald Trump going to get it? Isn't Donald Trump? And so, then yesterday, I'm going to have to go, but then yesterday, the news media is actually already declaring him as the next president, So I would just suggest that y'all start praying. And I heard the Lord say to prepare, to get prepared. Another thing I heard was Perry Stone said that, concerning all of this, he said that he believes that some real persecution is going to break out against the church. So, we're not on here to try to say, oh, I'm some big prophet, or, I always hear from the Lord, or I'm correct, or whatever. We need to know what God is saying and just move with God. We're so concerned about being right that we don't want to really hear the truth sometimes. You know, we're so concerned about, everything being everything being according to what we believe. And a song was coming to me by For Him this morning, and it says, I wonder why the rainy days have to come when the dark clouds hide the sun. I want to know why. And then it says, Lord, down here I may not understand, but I will not let go of the unseen hand because it holds the reasons why. So I speak a blessing on everybody. I say happy Sunday. I'm not very happy about this, but I just encourage you to really, be open. That's what I heard the Lord tell me one time. He goes, Pam, be open. Because sometimes we get a mindset because of what we've been taught, and so we can't hear the truth because we've really brainwashed ourselves into thinking we know what's right and wrong. So I just pray for y'all. I hope you have a good day, and God bless you. Bye bye.